A segment of consumer technology that saw a resurgence during the pandemic was that of budget tablets. And the recent Xiaomi Pad 5 offered great value proposition under Rs 30,000. And now with the Redmi Pad 5, Xiaomi wants to bring the fight to the under 20,000 segment where we already have a lot of competitors. But after having used it for a bit, it seems like this could become my de facto recommendation in this price category. If you don't know me yet, I'm Ershad, you're watching Trakin Tech English. Let's talk more about this killer tablet. Now, the first thing about the design is that in this specific shade of blue-green, it reminds you immediately of the Redmi K50i. And that camera module is also very similar in design as well. You've got a flat back and flat sides with nicely curved edges, and it's kind of soft so it doesn't, sort of dig into your palms when you're holding it. It's very iPad-ish in design if you ask me. Now, I'm not so sure if the backing material is made of metal or plastic, but it seems like plastic to me. However, I will definitely get back with feedback from Redmi and let you guys know in a pinned comment below. Having said that, for a budget tablet, I've seen a lot of budget tablets sort of flex. This one doesn't. It does feel a lot sturdier than other budget tablets. However, I'm not going to do a bend test and see if it breaks or not because this is a review unit. But I did notice one thing, there is a slot for an extra memory card. Initially, I thought it was a SIM card, but this is a, Wi-Fi only tablet and there's no 4G version. So yeah, so when I tried to remove this, tray, it was very difficult to do so with the regular SIM card tool that we have. Now, in a bid to make it flush, I think Xiaomi's made it tighter and it's become very difficult to remove it. Anyway, apart from that, you do get a power button on the top and you get the volume rocker on the, right edge. This is the right placement for it if you ask me. And you get quad speakers plus of course a Type-C port. Now these quad speakers are tuned with Dolby Atmos and they sound really good for a budget tablet. What I noticed is that you do get a nice spacious representation of the mix itself and it sounds very dynamic and loud too. You know what, why don't you take a listen for yourself? Now, before we move on, for more such cool videos on all different types of gadgets, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. And if you like the kind of videos we make, YouTube algorithm values engagement. So it'll be great if you guys give us a thumbs up or, maybe even comment below if you have any specific questions. Now the display on the front is where this Redmi Pad 5 sets itself apart. It's a 10.61-inch very unique size IPS LCD panel and you get support for 10-bit colors and 90Hz refresh rate as well. These kind of specs are unheard of in this price range. But you only get 70% of the NTSC color gamut, which means that the color science is not the best, but it's a budget tablet, you can't ask for more. However, I did notice that there is a visible color shift when you're viewing the display at an angle, especially when you're on a white screen. But when you look at it dead on, it's absolutely fine and you get support for wideband L1 and that 10-bit color space of course gives you a wider range of colors too. So Netflix shows do look good, especially when you watch it in full HD. And of course YouTube shows, YouTube videos also do look very good. But of course you do not get support for HDR, which is not something that you should expect. And couple that with the quad speakers with Dolby Atmos setup, it's actually a great multimedia experience. I watched my favorite episode of Stranger Things of Dear Billy once again, and it was a really good experience. And you also get support for high-res audio, which is something that Xiaomi actually keeps in mind for every single device, but you do not get a headphone jack with it, so you'll have to use a USB Type-C to 3.5mm port for it to sort of work. Now another thing I liked about the display is that the bezels are fairly small sized. It's not like big or anything, but for a tablet this is not too bad. But one thing that's almost true for every single budget Android tablet out there is that the oleophobic coating is generally really bad, which is also true for the Redmi Pad. What that means is that this display is bound to attract a lot of fingerprints, just like Hrithik attracts every single woman out there. I really should be fired for these jokes. Damn it. Now you must be wondering, what about a fingerprint scanner? You do not get that on budget tablets again. You will have to rely on a face unlock feature, which I am not so sure if it's that secure. I would suggest that you use a pattern unlock or a pin code instead. Now coming to the cameras, you get an 8-megapixel camera on the rear and an 8-megapixel ultra-wide angle, with a 105-degree field of view on the front. And the placement of the camera on the front is much better, of course, than the Xiaomi Pad 5 because it is here and not here. Now, the 8 megapixel camera on the rear is your bog standard terrible camera that you get with budget Android tablets. It's really not useful except for one thing, and that is for document scanning, which is of course available in the camera app, so students could actually use it. But apart from that, I don't see anybody using this camera for taking pictures. And the camera on the front, of course, is there for video calls, but again, the quality is not that great. And there's one feature that Xiaomi has added which sort of apes the center stage feature that Apple introduced. Actually, it's not that exactly, but basically what happens is that the camera goes entirely wide when somebody comes into the frame, but it didn't happen for me when I tried it with zoom, which is what Xiaomi advised. But I think that it'll come in an update or something soon. Now, inside it comes with a MediaTek Helio G99 chip, which I also spoke about yesterday in my video of the Motorola G72. If you haven't watched that yet, a link should pop up right now. Now, this Redmi Pad comes with 3 variants. It's got 364, 4128 and 6128, and the RAM type is LPDDR4X and the storage type is UFS 2.2. Daily performance wise, swiping, moving across apps, scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through Instagram, all of that works really well. I didn't face any issues per se. However, I think one concern that most people would have is that how does 90 Hertz work on this? And on a tablet display, it's definitely something that stands apart because 60 Hertz is immediately apparent and 90 Hertz makes it slightly less apparent and makes it more smoother. So that's definitely an advantage. Games like Call of Duty run at medium and high settings, and there's absolutely no throttling or heating that is possible on this chip. So it works really well. Now, another question that I've seen a lot of people ask is how's the Wi-Fi performance? And I saw that the Wi-Fi performance was great, especially on dual band Wi-Fi. When you're closer to the router, it actually does latch on to good speed. So you can rely on this for great internet performance. Alright, so now coming to the battery inside this, like I mentioned, you've got an 8000 mAh battery inside and 22.5 fast charging speeds as well with the adapter in the box. And of course, battery life is great and charging speeds are pretty good for a budget tablet. That is something that you really don't need to worry about. Now, coming to the real reason why I think that the Redmi Pad is definitely a product that a lot of people should consider, and that is the software experience that you get with it. Now, you get MIUI 13.1 based on Android 12, and Xiaomi promises that you will get an update to Android 13 and 14 and 3 years of security updates as well. Apart from that, Xiaomi also promises MIUI 14 and MIUI 15 updates on the Redmi Pad. Now, why did I mention that the software is a standout feature on this tablet is because it takes all the good additions that Xiaomi made with the Xiaomi Pad 5 and brings it to the Redmi Pad. Basically, what you get is a dock that is very similar to the iPad, but it is definitely helpful. And this is sort of like a persistent dock. You can actually pick out the dock even when you are on any other app, which means that you can switch directly from that dock itself. And apart from that, you also get split screen plus floating window on top of it, which means that you can have 2 apps in split screen and a floating window on top of it as well. Now, you must be worried, well, does that work properly on G99? Well, it does stutter a bit, so I would suggest that you keep 2 apps at a time. But still, if you want to go 3 apps, you can do that as well. A lot of system apps are built ground up too, like for example, weather and calculator. It looks very good on the tablet. And one really cool thing Xiaomi has done is that the Redmi Pad actually comes with optimized Instagram. What that means is that the aspect ratio on stories and reels is absolutely correct and it doesn't cut out content, which is great because now I'm going to be spending more time swiping through reels on this big tablet. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that this tablet has a unique aspect ratio as well for the display. Now, what about accessory support? You can get third-party pens to work with this, and you also get, I think, folio cover, but nothing apart from that. My only concern with the software is that you do not get Google Kidspace, which I think was a fantastic reason for a lot of people or for a lot of parents to actually pick up the tablet, because Kidspace is very nicely done. It's got a separate interface altogether, but that's not available on this. It's available on the Realme Pad, it's available on Nokia's tablets, and I think even Motorola's tablets. But I'll take that missing feature for the tablet specific experience that Xiaomi tunes for the Redmi Pad. So the Redmi Pad has fantastic pricing. Xiaomi ensures that you get the best value for the money, and in this price range, I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards this, and they're going to be recommended this not just by reviewers but also by friends and family. The way Xiaomi has managed to price it well for the Redmi Pad out here is by actually going for a MediaTek G99, because then it'll help save costs and give you a better display experience and a whole multimedia experience as well. I'm very happy with this. I think this is the best tablet set under 20,000 right now for me. I did like the Realme Pad a lot when it launched last year, and I did like the Nokia's tablet as well, and the Motorola tablet is not too bad. Even the Oppo tablet is not too bad, but this one stands apart. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Eshad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.